Picture this. You're flying over Egypt, looking down at the Great Pyramid of Giza. Then suddenly, you're teleported thousands of miles away to Peru, staring at Machu Picchu. Then to England, where Stonehenge stands in mysterious silence. Here's the crazy part. If you drew lines between these places on a map, something absolutely mind-blowing happens. They line up. Not just close. Not just roughly. They line up with mathematical precision that would make your calculator jealous. But wait, there's more. These ancient builders didn't have phones, emails, or even horses to travel between continents. They lived thousands of years apart. Some built with massive stones, others with perfect geometry, and some with astronomical precision that rivals our modern technology. So how did ancient people, separated by oceans and centuries, create monuments that follow the same invisible blueprint? How did they know to align their structures with stars, with each other, and with forces we're only beginning to understand? Today, we're diving deep into one of humanity's greatest mysteries. We'll uncover the hidden patterns that connect ancient sites across our planet. We'll explore theories that challenge everything you think you know about our ancestors. And by the end of this journey, you'll see the world through completely different eyes. Buckle up, because what you're about to discover will change how you look at every ancient monument forever. Let's start with something that should be impossible. Imagine you're an ancient Egyptian architect, tasked with building the most magnificent pyramid the world has ever seen. You have no satellites, no GPS, no way to communicate with builders on other continents. Yet somehow, you decide to place your pyramid at exactly 29.979245 degrees north latitude. Sound familiar? That's almost exactly the speed of light in a vacuum. 299,792,458 meters per second. Coincidence? Maybe. But this is just the beginning of a pattern so precise it's almost scary. The Great Pyramid isn't alone in this mathematical madness. Draw a line from Giza to Machu Picchu in Peru. Keep going, and that same line passes through Easter Island, then continues to Angkor Wat in Cambodia. 4 of the world's most mysterious ancient sites, sitting on nearly the same great circle route around Earth. But here's where it gets really weird. Take Nazca, famous for those massive line drawings that can only be seen from the sky. The distance from Nazca to Giza? It's exactly 1/4 the circumference of Earth. Not close to 1/4. Exactly 1/4. Now let's talk about Stonehenge. Those massive stones weren't just randomly placed. They form perfect geometric patterns that align with celestial events. The heel stone points exactly toward the sunrise on summer solstice. But here's the kicker. If you extend that alignment line, it passes through several other ancient sites across Europe. The alignments don't stop there. Ancient sites around the world seem to follow invisible highways in the sky. These paths, sometimes called ley lines, connect sacred places across impossible distances. It's like our ancestors were following a master plan that spanned the entire globe. Take the ancient city of Teotihuacan in Mexico. Its main avenue is tilted 15.5 degrees east of north. Why this specific angle? Because it aligns with the setting position of the Pleiades star cluster. But here's the mind-bender: sites in Egypt and Cambodia show similar alignments to the same stars. Easter Island, one of the most isolated places on Earth, has stone statues that all face inland. All except 7, which face the ocean in a perfect line. That line? It points directly toward the spot where the sun rises on the summer solstice, but only when viewed from the exact center of the island. The ancient builders of these monuments weren't just creating pretty structures. They were encoding astronomical information, geographical coordinates, and mathematical constants into stone. They were creating a global network of monuments that speaks a universal language of mathematics and astronomy. Some researchers believe these alignments prove that ancient civilizations had advanced knowledge we've lost. Others think it shows contact between cultures that supposedly never met. A few even suggest that these patterns were created following instructions from a more advanced civilization. What's undeniable is that these alignments exist. They're not random coincidences or wishful thinking. They're measurable, repeatable, and absolutely fascinating. Our ancestors were telling us something through these alignments, creating a message written in stone that spans continents and centuries. The question isn't whether these patterns exist. It's what they mean and how they were created. And that's exactly what we're going to explore in the next chapter. What do you think about these impossible alignments? Have you noticed any patterns in ancient sites near you? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's solve this mystery together. Here's something that'll blow your mind. The ancient Egyptians built the Great Pyramid with an accuracy that makes modern construction look sloppy. The base is level to within just 2.1 centimeters. The sides are equal to within 2 centimeters. Try doing that with a backyard shed, and you'll understand how incredible this achievement really is. But accuracy is just the beginning. These ancient builders encoded advanced mathematical concepts into their monuments that weren't, officially, discovered until thousands of years later. The Great Pyramid's perimeter divided by its height gives you pi, that famous number we all learned in school. But here's the thing. Pi wasn't mathematically proven until the Greeks came along, supposedly long after the pyramid was built. Yet there it is, locked in stone with incredible precision. Move over to Stonehenge, and you'll find the builders used the Pythagorean theorem in their construction. You know, that a squared plus b squared equals c squared thing. Except this theorem wasn't invented by Pythagoras until about 2,000 years after Stonehenge was completed. Someone forgot to tell the ancient Britons they weren't supposed to know this yet. The mystery deepens when we look at Angkor Wat in Cambodia. This massive temple complex is built as a scale model of the Hindu cosmos. But the measurements aren't just symbolic, they're astronomically accurate. The central tower represents Mount Meru, the center of the universe in Hindu cosmology. The distance from the entrance to this central tower? It matches the distance from Earth to the Sun, scaled down by a factor of 43,200. That scaling factor isn't random either. It appears in ancient texts and monuments around the world. The ancient Indians used it in their cosmic calculations. The Mayans incorporated it into their calendar systems. It's like different cultures were all reading from the same cosmic handbook. Speaking of the Mayans, their calendar system shows knowledge of astronomical cycles that boggle modern scientists. They calculated the length of a year to 365.2420 days. Our modern calculation? 365.2422 days. They were off by just 17 seconds per year. Without telescopes. Without computers. Without even the wheel, according to mainstream archaeology. The Antikythera mechanism, discovered in a Greek shipwreck, is often called the world's first computer. This bronze device, over 2,000 years old, could predict eclipses, track Olympic Games, and calculate the positions of celestial bodies with stunning accuracy. It's so complex that when it was first discovered, scientists couldn't believe ancient Greeks could have built it. Now let's talk about something really mind-bending. The precision of ancient stone cutting. At Puma Punku in Bolivia, you'll find stone blocks cut so precisely that you can't slide a credit card between the joints. These aren't soft stones either. We're talking about granite and diorite, some of the hardest materials on Earth. The surfaces are so flat and smooth they look machine-made. The techniques required to achieve this precision are supposed to be modern inventions. Yet there they are, in the middle of the Bolivian highlands, defying everything we think we know about ancient capabilities. Ancient sites around the world show evidence of advanced acoustic engineering. The stepped pyramid at Chichen Itza produces a chirping echo that matches the call of the sacred Quetzal bird. Clap your hands at the bottom of the steps, and the echo sounds exactly like the bird's call. This wasn't an accident. It was acoustic engineering that required sophisticated understanding of sound waves and reflection. The ancient amphitheater at Epidaurus in Greece has perfect acoustics. A whisper on the stage can be clearly heard in the back row, 180 feet away. Modern acoustic engineers struggle to replicate this achievement, even with computer modeling and advanced materials. Then there's the mystery of ancient electricity. The Baghdad battery, a 2,000-year-old clay jar containing a copper cylinder and iron rod, produces electrical current when filled with an acidic solution. Ancient Egyptian temples show evidence of electric lighting in areas where torch smoke would have been impossible to ventilate. These aren't isolated examples. They're part of a global pattern showing that our ancestors possessed knowledge and capabilities that mainstream science says they shouldn't have had. They understood mathematics, astronomy, acoustics, and engineering at levels we're only now beginning to appreciate. The evidence suggests that ancient civilizations had access to information and techniques that we've somehow lost. Whether this knowledge came from an earlier advanced civilization, from careful observation and experimentation, or from some other source entirely, remains one of history's greatest mysteries. What's your take on these ancient technologies? Do you think our ancestors were more advanced than we give them credit for? Share your thoughts below, and let's dig deeper into this archaeological puzzle. Imagine you're standing inside the Great Pyramid at midnight. You look up through the narrow shaft that leads from the king's chamber, and you see a single star perfectly framed in that shaft. That star is Alnitak, the brightest star in Orion's belt. This isn't luck or coincidence. It's precision engineering designed to connect Earth with the cosmos. Ancient builders didn't just look at the stars for pretty pictures. They built their monuments as giant astronomical instruments, creating stone computers that could track celestial movements with incredible accuracy. The three pyramids at Giza mirror the three stars of Orion's belt perfectly. Not just their positions, but even their relative brightness. The smallest pyramid corresponds to the dimmest star. It's like someone took a photograph of Orion and built it on the ground using massive stone blocks. But here's where it gets really interesting. The ancient Egyptians called Orion Osiris, their god of the afterlife. They believed that when pharaohs died, their souls traveled along the Milky Way to join Osiris in the stars. The pyramid wasn't just a tomb, it was a cosmic launching pad, designed to help the pharaoh's soul navigate to its eternal home. This obsession with Orion wasn't unique to Egypt. The Lakota people of North America also saw Orion as a sacred figure. The ancient Mayans incorporated Orion into their creation myths. Aboriginal Australians have stories about Orion that go back tens of thousands of years. Different cultures, different continents, same stars, same reverence. Now let's travel to Cambodia, where Angkor Wat reveals another astronomical masterpiece. The temple isn't just aligned with the cardinal directions. It's positioned so that during the spring equinox, the sun rises directly over the central tower when viewed from the main entrance. But that's just the beginning. The temple complex mirrors the constellation Draco in its layout. The main temples correspond to the brightest stars, and the connecting causeways follow the pattern of the constellation. It's Draco on Earth, built in stone and stretching across miles of Cambodian jungle. The ancient builders went even further. They incorporated precession into their designs. Precession is the slow wobble of Earth's axis that takes about 26,000 years to complete one cycle. During this cycle, the positions of stars in the sky slowly shift. Most people don't even know precession exists, yet ancient builders factored it into their monuments. The Sphinx at Giza faces due east, toward the sunrise. But during the spring equinox around 10,500 BCE, the Sphinx would have been looking directly at the constellation Leo, the lion. Some researchers believe this date represents the true age of the Sphinx, encoded in stone through astronomical alignment. Halfway around the world, the ancient site of Nabta Playa in Egypt's desert contains stone circles that track the same 26,000-year precessional cycle. These stone alignments are over 7,000 years old, making them older than Stonehenge. Yet they demonstrate sophisticated understanding of astronomical cycles that we only rediscovered in modern times. The mathematical precision doesn't stop with astronomy. Ancient sites incorporate the golden ratio, that special number found throughout nature in flowers, shells, and human proportions. The Parthenon in Greece is built using golden ratio proportions. The Great Pyramid incorporates it into its dimensions. Temples in India, pyramids in Mexico, stone circles in Britain, they all use the same mathematical principle. Sacred geometry appears in ancient sites worldwide. The flower of life pattern, consisting of overlapping circles that create intricate geometric designs, shows up in Egyptian temples, Chinese art, and Celtic manuscripts. This pattern contains within it the fundamental shapes of existence: triangles, squares, pentagons, and hexagons, all derived from simple overlapping circles. The ancient builders seemed to understand that mathematics wasn't just for counting and measuring. They saw it as the language of the universe itself, a way to connect the earthly and the divine. Their monuments were textbooks written in stone, teaching lessons about the cosmic order that governs everything from planetary motion to the spiral of DNA. Consider the layout of ancient cities. They weren't randomly planned. Cities like Washington, D.C., Brasilia, and even ancient Rome were designed using geometric principles that reflect astronomical alignments. The streets, monuments, and buildings work together to create giant geometric patterns that can only be fully appreciated from above. These patterns suggest that ancient cultures understood something we're only beginning to rediscover: that consciousness, mathematics, and cosmic forces are all interconnected. Their monuments weren't just buildings. They were tools for understanding humanity's place in the universe. The precision of these astronomical alignments raises profound questions about ancient knowledge. How did cultures separated by oceans and centuries all develop such sophisticated understanding of celestial mechanics? Were they inheriting knowledge from an earlier, more advanced civilization? Were they receiving guidance from some external source? Or were they simply better observers of the natural world than we give them credit for? What's your theory about these cosmic connections? Do you think ancient peoples had access to advanced astronomical knowledge? Or were they just incredibly skilled observers? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and let's explore the biggest mystery of all in our final chapter. Here's the ultimate question that keeps archaeologists awake at night. How did ancient people around the world, who supposedly never met each other, all decide to build massive stone monuments using the same techniques, the same astronomical alignments, and the same mathematical principles? The official answer is convergent evolution. The idea that similar solutions naturally arise when people face similar problems. But when you look at the evidence, this explanation starts to feel like trying to explain away a miracle. Let's start with the most obvious similarity. Massive stone construction using blocks so heavy that even today we struggle to move them. The trilithons at Stonehenge weigh up to 50 tons each. The blocks at Baalbek in Lebanon weigh over 800 tons. The foundation stones at the Temple Mount in Jerusalem are estimated at 570 tons each. These aren't isolated examples. From Easter Island to Peru, from Egypt to Cambodia, ancient builders chose to work with impossibly heavy stones when smaller ones would have been easier and just as effective. It's like they were all following the same construction manual that said, "Go big or go home." But it's not just about size. The precision cutting and fitting techniques are remarkably similar across cultures. In Peru, you'll find stones cut so precisely they fit together without mortar, creating walls that have survived earthquakes for centuries. In Egypt, the blocks of the Great Pyramid are fitted so tightly that you can't slide a knife blade between them. In Lebanon, Japan, and Bolivia, you'll find the same impossible precision in stonework. The tools required for this level of precision supposedly didn't exist in ancient times. Yet the evidence is right there in stone. Either our ancestors had access to advanced technology we don't know about, or they developed techniques we've somehow forgotten. Then there's the global flood mythology. Over 500 cultures around the world have stories about a great flood that destroyed an earlier civilization. The details vary, but the core story remains the same. Advanced people who became corrupt, divine punishment through flooding, and survivors who preserved knowledge for future generations. The Sumerian epic of Gilgamesh tells of Utnapishtim, who survived the flood in a great boat. Hindu texts describe Manu, who saved life on earth from the Great Deluge. The Bible tells of Noah and his ark. Aboriginal Australians, Native Americans, and ancient Chinese all have similar flood stories. Either the entire world decided to make up the same story independently, or these myths preserve memories of real events. Archaeological evidence supports the possibility of ancient advanced civilizations. Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, dated to around 11,500 years ago, features massive stone pillars carved with intricate reliefs. This site predates agriculture, pottery, and metallurgy, yet shows sophisticated artistic and engineering capabilities. It forces us to reconsider everything we thought we knew about human development. The site was deliberately buried around 8000 BCE, covered with tons of earth in a massive undertaking that would have required coordinated effort from many people. Why would an ancient people choose to bury their greatest achievement? Some researchers suggest it was an attempt to preserve knowledge through a coming catastrophe. Underwater archaeology has revealed structures that challenge our understanding of human history. The Yonaguni Monument off Japan's coast features precisely cut angles, steps, and terraces that look artificial. If human-made, it was carved when sea levels were much lower, potentially over 12,000 years ago. Similar underwater structures exist around the world. Off the coast of India, Japan, and the Mediterranean, underwater ruins suggest that advanced civilizations existed when these areas were dry land. Rising sea levels at the end of the last ice age would have flooded coastal areas where early civilizations likely flourished. The distribution of certain technologies also suggests ancient global connections. The lost wax casting technique appears simultaneously in ancient Peru, Egypt, and Asia. Complex mathematical concepts show up in widely separated cultures at roughly the same time. Agricultural techniques, astronomical knowledge, and architectural principles spread across continents in ways that should have been impossible without contact. Consider the potato, which originated in South America but somehow made it to Easter Island, one of the most isolated places on Earth, long before European contact. Sweet potatoes, also from South America, were being grown in Polynesia and Asia centuries before Columbus. These agricultural exchanges suggest regular contact between continents that mainstream history says were isolated. The megalithic sites themselves might be the remnants of a global civilization that was destroyed by natural catastrophe around 12,000 years ago. This timing coincides with the end of the last ice age, the Younger Dryas impact event, and massive climate changes that would have devastated coastal civilizations worldwide. Survivors of this catastrophe might have spread around the world, carrying with them the knowledge and techniques of their lost civilization. They became the mysterious teachers mentioned in cultures worldwide: the Anunnaki in Sumerian texts, Quetzalcoatl in Mesoamerica, the Seven Sages in Hindu tradition, and the Watchers in biblical texts. These teacher figures are described as bringing civilization to humanity, introducing agriculture, astronomy, mathematics, and construction techniques. They taught people to build monuments that would preserve their knowledge for future generations. The global network of ancient sites might be their legacy, a message written in stone for humanity to eventually decode. The evidence points towards something extraordinary in human history. Whether it was a lost advanced civilization, contact with external teachers, or simply capabilities our ancestors possessed that we've underestimated, the monuments speak of knowledge and coordination on a global scale. The master plan encoded in stone around the world suggests that our history is far more complex and mysterious than we've been taught. These ancient sites aren't just pretty ruins, they're libraries of lost knowledge, waiting for us to learn their language and understand their message. What do you think about the possibility of a global ancient civilization? Could our ancestors have been far more advanced and connected than we realize? Share your theories in the comments below, and let's piece together this amazing puzzle. So there you have it, the incredible evidence for a global blueprint that connects ancient sites across continents and centuries. From the impossible precision of the Great Pyramid to the cosmic alignments of Angkor Wat, from the underwater mysteries of sunken civilizations to the mathematical constants encoded in stone, our ancestors left us a puzzle that challenges everything we think we know about human history. The patterns are undeniable. The alignments are measurable. The precision is extraordinary. What remains is the biggest question of all. What does it all mean? Maybe our ancestors were far more advanced than we've given them credit for. Maybe they had access to knowledge we've lost or forgotten. Maybe they were part of a global civilization that was destroyed by natural catastrophe, leaving only these stone monuments as proof of their existence. Or maybe the truth is even more extraordinary than we can imagine. What's certain is that these ancient sites are trying to tell us something. They're a message written in the universal language of mathematics, astronomy, and sacred geometry. A message that says human civilization is older, more sophisticated, and more mysterious than we've been taught. The question now is, are we ready to listen? If this video opened your eyes to the incredible mysteries hidden in plain sight around our world, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We're just getting started on this journey into humanity's forgotten past. Drop a comment below and let us know which ancient mystery fascinates you most. Are you Team Lost Civilization, Team Ancient Aliens, or do you have your own theory about how these impossible alignments came to be? And if you really want to dive deep into these mysteries, check out the playlist we've created exploring each of these sites in detail. From the secret chambers of the Great Pyramid to the underwater ruins of Japan, we're uncovering the evidence that's rewriting human history. Remember, the greatest discoveries happen when we're brave enough to question what we think we know. These ancient monuments are proof that our world is far more mysterious and wonderful than we ever imagined. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and never stop wondering about the incredible mysteries that surround us every single day.